So hello everybody and welcome. My name is Old School Paulie and welcome back to the second part of my fully complete and commentated playthrough of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. In this playthrough I am going to be going after the maximum rank in the game, which is Foxhound rank, and I'm hoping that this guide can show you the best way in which to actually attain that rank. But anyway, at the end of last episode we managed to defeat Ocelot, and now we're at the bottom of this cave here. If you've got the thermal goggles equipped, just get them on just for the time being, just so we have some light. And then also make sure, if you've got it in your inventory, just to equip the Flectarn camo. That way your battery will not drain just while you're wearing them. So at the start, we start right here next to this snake here. So where you want to come is through here. And then you want to go left here. This is so we can find the torch as quickly as possible. And then you'll come to a waterway here. If you go between these two waterfalls here, you'll see that there is an item, and that is the torch, including some white phosphorus grenades as well. There is a Russian glow cap as well, and they're actually pretty good items for restoring your battery in case you need it. Let's just have a look at our food here, because we got a ton of food in the last... It's been a while since I've last booted up the game, in which case a lot of my food here has gone rotten. So we're going to have to chuck out quite a lot of these. However, as mentioned earlier, rotten food can be used to your advantage, so it's not worth throwing away all of it. You can actually use your food as a weapon a little bit later, and I'll show you how to do so. So it's not worth throwing all of it away, but certainly something that we won't be eating any of it, so I think that'll be enough. And then we can always catch some more crabs here, so we'll do that now. Yeah, I think it's been a week since I last booted the game up, so yeah, over that time food can go off, so I think we'll just take one more as well. Crabs are pretty good too, a pretty good source of food, and they've got pretty decent stamina recovery as well. So, right, let's equip our torch then. Have the thermal goggles on for too long; it does make your eyes a bit tired. Right, so now that we've got the torch, if you come over here, there is a very special item up here, probably the most well-hidden item in the cave. You don't want to go down that ledge just yet, we'll go down there a little bit later. But where you actually want to come is down here. If you crawl under this crawl space here, follow it all the way through, and just make sure you be careful as you stand up into this cave here, just because there are bats. And if you're too high, they will take a bite out of you, so just make sure you stay nice and low. Excuse me. Sorry, I got a little bit of a sore throat, so forgive me if the commentary is a little out on this episode. But once you're finished in there, you need to crawl over here. And then into this room here, where there's a hole in the floor. But make sure you come over here first, because the best item that you can get in this whole area is the night vision goggles. So now we've made the torch completely obsolete. Especially when we've got the Flectarn camouflage as well, so we can equip the night vision goggles, and we haven't got to worry about the battery running out at all. So now we can see in this dark cave now. Now we've just got to find the exit. So swim down through here. Make sure you just spam the X button just so you swim as fast as possible. If you're ever worried about your O2 gauge, you can actually equip, if you've selected it at the start, you can actually equip, if you go into your camouflage, go onto face, and if you select the brown face paint, your O2 gauge will not diminish and you'll be able to breathe underwater indefinitely. And there's a little segment of the game coming up where this will be really, really handy. It makes getting through an entire area where there's patrols completely trivial. But if you haven't got it, then you will have to worry about the O2 gauge. Just make sure you don't stay underwater for too long. It is linked to your stamina bar, so the more stamina that you've got, the more you're able to hold your breath for underwater. Might as well get these items down here. What that item was we picked up back there, that was a battery. So make sure you've remembered to come and pick that up. And then as you can see here, we're back to actually where we started. Right at the very, very start, where we first fell into this cave. But now that we've got the night vision goggles, we can actually do a bit more exploring. Under that crawl space there is actually where we need to go to leave. We can come this way. Just watch your step though, because there is a poisonous snake down here, so just watch your step. But I think there's a few more items down here. I think there's some M1911A1 ammo here, so... and some grenades. Now, we will be meeting the first member of the Cobra unit at the end of this cave. Ocelot was quite a straightforward battle, especially when we've got use of a lethal weapon against him. He's definitely one of the easiest bosses in Extreme. The Pain, on the other hand, is very much a pain in every sense of the word, just because we have to defeat him non-lethally, which is a bit of a nightmare. However, there are a few tricks that we can use to speed up the process, which I'll show you a little bit later. The only way that we can beat him non-lethally is using the Mark 22, and because it's a bolt-action pistol, its rate of fire is very, very low. But there is actually a trick you can use to radically increase the rate of fire that we can, or the amount of bullets that we can shoot into him at once. And not only that, you can actually use hornets to create armour, so we have to blow them away with a special weapon or with grenades before we're able to damage him. So yeah, it's going to be a long fight. And on Extreme as well, we can't take much damage ourselves, so even though we might be in control of the fight against the Pain for a while, it can turn south very, very quickly, so don't let your guard down in these boss battles. Now, when you get into this area here, make sure you go right, and the reason why you want to go right immediately is because a very, very important weapon is here. Let's just have some food first. Some of our good food.
Pretty tasty.
Make sure you don't eat any of the rotten food. It goes without saying. But we can use that a little bit later. Is that a snake there? We might as well... But make sure you pick this weapon up here. And this is the M37. This is a shotgun. Now, this weapon's really, really important for our fight against the Pain, just because it has the ability to shoot some of the hornets off his body that will protect him from damage. Also, a good advantage of coming this way is you'll also get some more camo as well. So, I think the snow camouflage is here as well, the other part of it. I think the face was back in Bolshaya Past base, but the uniform itself is actually right here. You can't see it here, but because I've already picked it up, but if you come this way, you'll be sure to pick it up. Probably gonna have to chuck away a few more of our rotten food here. Once we've come out of here, all we have to do now is go right, and we're literally right by where the Pain is. So now let's get our loadout ready for this fight. So things you're going to need against the Pain. You're going to need the MK22, of course. it's a good idea to use the AK just to blow away some of the grenades that he is going to chuck at us throughout the fight. The M37 is definitely needed. In terms of your grenades, the best grenades I've found for the pain are white phosphorus grenades, just because they're incendiary grenades and that'll get rid of all the hornets in a single blast. And also smoke grenades as well. They don't like smoke either. But if you stick to white phosphorus grenades and smoke grenades, they should blow away all of his hornets in a single blast. If you use grenades, I think they take about 2 or 3 grenades. So yeah, we can get the job done with white phosphorus and smoke grenades. And then in terms of items that we need, there's only really one that's useful, and that is the bug juice. Just because it keeps the hornets and leeches away while it's in effect. You are going to have to keep reapplying this, though, for a lot throughout the fight. So if you are going to use bug juice, not that I really use it throughout the fight, but make sure you've got quite a lot of it, because it will get dispelled by the pain's attacks quite frequently, and we've only got 3, so you just make sure, going into a boss battle, just make sure that your suppressors are unequipped, because it's completely useless just having them on. Right, so we might as well keep the brown face paint on. Let's stick water on, actually, just because it will give us... Just because we're going to be in water, it's going to give us some better camouflage. Right, as soon as the battle begins, you can get a quick shot into him, but you need to make sure you jump immediately off the platform. The reason why he's going to chuck some of this noxious liquid at you. If the liquid does get you, just swim down here under the water. At least we haven't got to worry about drowning as long as we're in the water, and as long as you're in the water, you're completely protected from all of his hornets and his bullet bees later, so make sure you make good use of the water. Now, in order to use the tranquilizer gun as quickly as possible on him, we need to use a special technique, and this technique was actually present in the original game. What you actually have to do is, as soon as you fire a shot, you have to completely unequip the weapon, and the next time that you re-equip it, your magazine will be completely refilled. It's a manual reload, basically. It's something that was in the original game, but if you do it fast enough, it'll actually increase the rate of fire of the weapon. So I'm just going to show you now. Fire, unequip, fire, unequip, fire, unequip, and then by that way, watch out for the grenades. You can use the shotgun to blow them out of the air, or the AK. But as you can see, if you use the MK22 this way, we will whittle his stamina down a lot faster than what you would do if you just take a shot, reload, take a shot, reload. So make sure you take advantage of this technique. Right, we need to jump back into the water here because we're going to get shot. If you have got time to go for the headshot, just make sure that you do so, just because it will take off more of his stamina than just going for body shots. And we can actually use the same tactic here with the shotgun. To quickly strip away his armour. If he does cover you in hornets, don't panic. Just cycle the left analog stick and they'll get off you pretty quick. Let's chuck a smoke grenade on him just to... Oh, he dodged that one. Okay, fine, we'll use the shotgun. If you do need more ammo, the other platform has plenty of MK22 ammo and M37 ammo, so you haven't got to worry about running out of ammo. If you swim across to this other platform here, I've just realised we've taken quite a bit of damage from that Tommy gun, but... Get out, get out! was close. Right, now here you want to get the AK out just to blow up all these grenades there's going to summon. And with luck, they'll all fall at his feet. As you can see, you can see why, trying to beat him non-lethally, the battle will go on for quite a long time. Make sure you take cover behind here when he tries to use the Tommy gun on you. Keeps dodging my grenades, little bugger. Okay, grenades do work. As long as you stand your ground like this, that's the first phase done. As long as you stand your ground and make sure you shoot him when you should and get into the water when you should, it's quite a straightforward encounter. Right, this is where the fight gets a lot more dangerous, because these bullet bees can actually one-shot you if you're not careful. So when he summons them, just make sure you get into the water, and then when he sends them after you, just make sure you dive immediately, because not only will they almost one-shot you, they'll make you seriously injured as well. And remember, we need to look after Snake a lot throughout this playthrough if we want to get Foxhound rank, so make sure you just abuse the brown face paint if you've got it, because as long as you've got it on, you're never got to worry about Snake running out of air. So just stay down in the depths below, and there really isn't a lot he can do. Right, so we've got him down to his last quarter of his stamina bar now. Missed the headshot. Oh, time to move. Yeah, when he throws that liquid at you, make sure you dive down below, because it will send his hornets after you. You can use bug juice to repel it, but I found that the bug juice has only got so much of a limited use in this fight, really. Just because you have to constantly keep applying it in order for it to be effective, and we've only got 3, so. Right, when he summons his bullet bees, just make sure you get into the water and dive immediately. This is definitely his most dangerous attack. If you are in the water and he throws grenades at you, just make sure you get nice and low, because as you can see, it does increase our stamina, our camouflage index, which means he won't be able to see us. Right, let's chuck a white phosphorus grenade at him. Try a smoke grenade. When he does summon a grenade, remember, just use the shotgun or the AK just to shoot it out of his hand. Right, just a little bit more and we've almost got him. Dive, Snake. Right, we're really going to have to get low here because he's summoned his Tommy guns. We're really going to have to get low here. All of these. Point to mention as well, if you're getting out of the water and there's a grenade that lands right by you in the water and Snake is getting out, Snake is actually invincible to damage while he's getting out of the water, so you can actually use that to your advantage. Right, we need to get down here because these hornets are coming after us, so we need to get low here. But as you can see, the fight can go on for quite a long time. And even without, you can imagine how long it would take without the using this technique to beat him non-lethally, so... And he's down. And that, I've found, is the best way to beat him non-lethally. If you are gonna kill him lethally, it's a lot faster, but beating him non-lethally, yeah, it is quite a challenge. And the great thing about beating him non-lethally is we've already collected this as part of our previous playthrough, but he also drops a very special camouflage as well. And to get it, what you actually have to do is roll across to that platform and you can go and pick it up. But in terms of the camouflage itself, I'll show you what it is that he drops. And this is the Pain's camouflage. Wards off hornets, spiders and leeches. Also allows wearer to tame hornets. And there's a couple of really good segments later when we go to Socolo Vieno and Stratogorni forests where you can actually use hornets to get rid of all the guards. You can completely trivialise a couple of areas in the game, and I'll be sure to show you just how you can do that. It really is fun.
I want some more.
And if you carry on and back up that ridge, that just takes you back into the cave. So we're pretty much done here. Just make sure when you've got the mine detector equipped just for this next area. Glass suppressors back on as well. And this is where we get introduced to flying platforms, enemies on flying platforms. There is an area where we have to go across a river, and they're patrolling that river, but I'm going to show you how to make it very, very easy. We can make the whole thing trivial. Now, there is one item that we do need to get. There's actually going to be very useful for when we encounter the Fear, who's the second member of the Cobra unit a little bit later. How much food have we got? We could probably get rid of a bit more rotten food. Yeah, we've got 3, that'll be enough. But you actually want to capture or kill some poison dart frogs here. Now, as the name suggests, these are poisonous, and you're probably asking why on earth would I want to capture a poisonous animal for? Well, they actually come in handy for when we fight the Fear a little bit later. We can actually use poisonous animals to our advantage against him. Right, let's carry on. Now might be a good time to get our mine detector equipped. Just because there is a little sneaky section with some claymores hidden just a little bit further on. If you come up here, make sure you get low just so the claymore won't go off, remember from earlier. As long as you're prone, the claymores can't go off. Lather them up, and then as you can see there's some ammo here, so it was worth coming out of our way just to get it. Now this bit can be made completely trivial if you've got these crocodile cap and the brown face paint. More the crocodile cap is needed more than the brown face paint. But with the brown face paint, it means that you haven't got a surface for air and you can just swim all the way through. But as long as you've got the crocodile cap on, enemies will not recognise you. They'll think you're a crocodile as long as you're under the water. And what we're actually going to use here is that technique to get through this segment here. So now we are approaching the Pony-Sauvier warehouse. And as you can see, these enemies with flying platforms are patrolling this area. So the best way to do this, the very, very optimal way to do this, is to get the brown face paint on as before. And then we need to equip the crocodile cap. And then as long as you've got those 2 things on, you should get through this quite quickly. Although, let's put the water camo on as well, just to increase our camouflage index. So all we need to do here is just swim all the way through. Don't stop. And because we've got the brown face paint on, we haven't got to worry at all about surfacing for air. So we're going to swim all the way through. There is a fork in the road down here where you can go left and get the SVD earlier, or the sniper rifle early. But the only reason really why you really want to do that is if you can actually want to kill the end early, which is one of the biggest Easter eggs in the game, is the fact that you can actually kill or assassinate one of the Cobra units, one of the Cobra unit members early, which is the end. You can actually kill him early. But because we're going to beat him non-lethally, you don't want to do that, so we're just going to carry straight on. So as you can see, we're now outside the warehouse. But we can actually use the same tactics here. As long as you've got the brown face paint on and the crocodile cap, you can swim underwater and the guards will not notice you, and you're never going to worry about coming up for air. If you look at the top top middle, you'll notice that there's a health bar there of the end. Now, one of the best well-hidden Easter eggs in the original game was the fact that you can actually assassinate the end if you've got the sniper rifle. At this point, you can actually shoot him in the head, and then therefore it avoids you having to encounter him as a boss battle later, which I think was a really, really, really nice touch. I'm not going to be doing that just because we are going to have to take him out non-lethally later to get his weapon, and because we don't want to kill anyone for Foxhound ranks, so I'm going to be ignoring him and letting him go. Right, so let's go underwater then. But as you can see, as long as you've got this crocodile cap on, yep, it's just a crocodile, mate, just a crocodile. if you pre-order the game, you can actually get the full suit. You can actually get a suit where you can dress up as a crocodile. But the thing is, there's very, very limited areas where you can actually use it or make it effective. So it's a shame that they didn't put that in, because it would have been kind of fun to go through the entire game, although extremely trivialising it, going around dressed as a crocodile. I think there was a ghillie suit in the game as well, but I'm not sure how to unlock it. I did see a ghillie suit somewhere in the advertisements, but I don't know how to unlock it.
Tasty.
Right, so we've got to take out this soldier here who's on this jetty. One thing I forgot to mention: if you do tranquilise these soldiers and they fall into the water, don't worry. They will drown, but it won't count towards your final kill rating. So if they do die as a result of you tranquilising them, don't worry. It isn't going to affect your final statistics. I think one of the soldiers says, that I remember interrogating once, I think not any of them can swim, which is crazy. None of them can swim at all, so if they fall into the water, they're pretty much done. It's the same if you accidentally knock them out as well, so if you use CQC and you accidentally throw them into the water, it doesn't count as a kill. So you can use that to your advantage. Where is he? There he is. Need to take out this one here to the right. We haven't got great camo though, so he's probably going to see us here if we're not careful. Right, he's down. One more over there. Yeah, we could probably use the cap here just to get a little closer. Is there a suppressor down here? I think we've already picked it up, I think. Ah, he spotted the soldier. Right, I might have to act fast here. Using this. Pick a place to get out of the water. That was sneaky. Right, now I find the best way to do this in this area here is just to lure the enemies one by one.
Huh? I hear something.
So we'll just make some noise, get them to come over here. And then we'll incapacitate them one by one. There's actually some food stalls here that we will need to sabotage as well, just so we can make use of our rotten food that we got earlier. And it is worth doing it, just because it does make enemy patrols a lot weaker, and they're far, far easier to get around. So you can really use rotten food to your advantage if you've collected enough of it.
Hey,
Just be careful not to use your poisonous food, however, because it does count as a kill. We'll be saving the poisonous food for the fear, so don't use any of your poisonous food. Just use the rotten ones. Because rotten food will not kill them. Right. Drag him all the way down here.
Speak.
Can interrogate them while we're here.
I'm not talking. Speak. Let go of me.
Okay, he's a bit of a stubborn one. So remember how we permanently incapacitated a soldier? Oh, okay, we've knocked him out. Let's just bring him round, actually. Just because I'm not happy with him.
The enemies.
How I want them to be is like this.
Freeze.
Then I know he's not going to get up again unless we go into caution mode. So he's completely out of the picture now. Right, and there are 3 more guards in this building. There's one at the very, very top. You can try and trank him from here, but if you miss, you will go into caution mode. So probably suggest you don't do that. There's another guard down there. Can we lure him up here? Will he hear us? Yes. So we can get rid of 2 of them. And then same strategy. Wait for him to come. Drag him down here.
Nothing here.
Didn't think we were going to get to him in time then, just because he was right by the stairs, but we got him.
Freeze.
See if we can get some ammo from him, actually.
Don't shoot me, please.
Exactly what I needed, just because I noticed we were getting a bit low on MK22 ammo. Sweet. Right, enough bullying the soldiers. Let's let's carry on. Now there is a soldier on that balcony there, and there's one up there. So we can drop off this walkway here, but depending on where he is, we can. Yeah, we got away with that. Where is he? Where is he? That's why the cardboard box is always so handy. Let's just wait for him to turn around. When he turns around, we'll lure him with some noise. And if you look there, there's actually an item on that series of crates there, and that's actually a suppressor for the Mark 22, so we'll definitely want to get hold of that if we're able. Right, I'm just thinking what's the best way to do this.
What was that noise? What was that?
Uh-oh. The cover could be blown here. Right, when he turns around on the stairs, he's got to run quick.
was that noise?
Wait. Still got to be fast here. There's one more soldier above us. Right, let's plant some TNT. We probably need to buy ourselves a little bit more time here, so we'll put him to sleep. We do need to get the suppressor as well. Let's go and get rid of him first upstairs.
Who was that?
Right, so now we should be safe to blow up. We should be safe to blow up the stores now. Boom. And then by doing that, we can now use the enemies. Well, we can now use our own food against the enemy as they're starving. Now, in this forest here, I'd recommend that you, even though it's dark, you might want to put the thermal goggles on. The reason why is because at first glance it doesn't look very. It looks quite innocuous, but if you look very closely, the whole area is full of traps, absolutely littered with traps. So use the thermal goggles just to negotiate your way through here as safely as you can. There are some good items you can pick up here, but just be careful and how you get them. Just remember, with those, make sure you avoid these pip-4 traps here. Oh, it's only life medicine, we don't need that. But if you go over a one of those trip wires, you can roll over them or crawl underneath them. There's also snares here as well. And if you get caught by a snare, you will go up. You will hang from the tree. So if you do want to get rid of a snare, all you have to do is crawl across it. And then the snare will go up. Is that a soldier? Is that a scientist? Looks like a scientist. Somebody who managed to get out but then fell victim to the traps. I think that's some instant noodles. We'll definitely take them with us.
Pretty tasty.
Good. Let's just crawl under this. We haven't got the Flectarn camo on, and I've just gone through a battery. So as you can see, you'll see just how fast your battery gets depleted if you don't use the Flectarn. If you don't use the Flectarn. Got a bottomless swamp here. I think we're almost through. I think now. No, we're not. We've gone back to the entrance. We need to go and make our way through. Right, let's go and let's put the Flectarn camo on then. And then we can put our thermal goggles on and then just run all the way through. Sorry, I went the wrong way. But the thermal goggles is great just for this area here. Sweet. Right, here we can switch to the night vision goggles. And now we've almost reached the lab. Now we do need to come here first of all, just because we need to secure a key from Granin, who's the head scientist who's been posted here. And this will lead us towards where we need to go and rescue Sokolov. So we do need to come here first. There are some dogs here, so you can make use of some meat here. Not going to use my rotten meat, but I'll use some decent meat. Now, you might want to come over here first, just because there is another suppressor over here, but there is a snake in here. A poisonous snake, so just tread carefully here. Might want to just have your gun at the ready. There he is. There are quite a few poisonous snakes in these bushes here, so just be careful going through them. Even though they do provide really good sources of cover. I think the developers are a little sneaky here, putting some poisonous snakes hidden in there. So, yeah, just watch your step. Let's throw him some meat, and with luck, hopefully that dog will go to sleep.
Nothing here. There's nothing here.
This is how we get in. Remember to shoot the control panel. There's a couple of sneaky ways into the lab, actually. The way that you're supposed to go is down there by where those soldiers are. And then just kind of follow the path down. But there's actually a very, very sneakily hidden slat in the wall here. So if we crawl under here, we can actually get to the interior. Not quite in the lab yet. You can do a bit of a trick here. If you dress up as a scientist, they'll think that you're trying to escape from the lab, and they'll collect you and actually bring you back inside the lab. So it's a real good way of getting inside the lab, just because they think you're a scientist. It saves you having to sneak in, but we won't do that just because there is an armory that we need to get to down there. So it is worth just dealing with these soldiers here first. We'll introduce them to a couple of my pet snakes, I think, just for this bit. There's the other one. Well, while he's distracted, let's take out the other one. Still a couple more to deal with. No smoke grenades.
What's wrong?
We've got to be fast here because we're going to go into caution mode here if we're not careful. But the armory is just down here. And the reason why you want to come here is just because the M16 is here. And the great thing about the M16 is it can take a suppressor. So it's a really good weapon. And there is another way into the lab here. There's a vent down there. But let's just grab these items quick. Hopefully we can avoid a caution if we're fast. Phew. Got away with that then. Right, now we should be inside the lab. Now, if you come this way, there's actually a face camo there. I think it's Kabuki or Oyama, I can't remember, but because I've already picked that up, it's not there, but be sure to pick it up. Now here we want to get dressed into the our disguise, so let's get the glasses and the scientist outfit on. I always laugh at this outfit just because Snake still looks incredibly suspicious even though he's dressed as a scientist, especially with that bandana on. I wouldn't buy that he's a scientist at all, I'm just saying. Right. If you come to this tree here, there's actually a very, very special item here at this tree. Let's clear a bit of room in our inventory just so we can take it.
Disgusting.
And as you can see, it says get handkerchief first. But what this food is, these are spots and mushrooms. And spots and mushrooms, in Russian, spatsa actually means the bringer of sleep. So when you eat one of these mushrooms, it'll send you to sleep, and it can actually be used on the guards.
Hey, this works.
But Snake can actually use them as well, and he can actually use them to restore stamina, a lot of stamina, because what will happen is, if he eats it, he'll go straight to sleep, and he can actually use it to restore a lot of stamina. So they're really, really good items. I think there's only one other place where you can get Spartan mushrooms. But, oh no, that's not the, that's something different. That's the Baikal Scaly Tooth. But that's one of the places where you can get a Spartan mushroom. Now, there are some items up here, so it's worth coming up here first. I think there's another suppressor here. Or is there? Yes. But there's also some food stalls here as well. I don't think it's necessary to blow them up though, but we will go and raid the food stalls just because having access to food that will not go off is good to get. I've lost my bearings. I think they're over here. We can blow them up, but it's really not necessary. Yeah, so we've got some good items here, so we'll luckily, the amount of food that you eat for a single Foxhound playthrough doesn't matter. Luckily, because I think I've eaten a lot of food in this playthrough already. Probably get rid of one of the rations just for some noodles, I think. Right, but anyway, our objective is downstairs. And we need to go and reach Granin's, so we need to make our way downstairs. If I can remember where it is. No. Lost my bearings here again. This way. Now the guards will always, as long as you act normal around the guards, they'll never ever suspect you, but the scientists, they're a whole different story. Don't ever let the scientists get a good look at your face, because if they do, they'll know that you're not a real scientist and they'll go into alert. So if a scientist does suspect you, just turn your head away and just not look at them, and then they'll eventually lose interest. You haven't got to worry about that with the guards, but with the scientists, they'll give the game away, so just be careful around them. I find that it's actually better to knock them out, and there's a really special item down here that we can use to do so. Right, so this is where we need to come. If you come over to this booth over here, you get an item called the cigarette gas spray. Now, you've only got a limited amount of ammo for this over the course of your playthrough, so you definitely want to use this sparingly. But it's really handy for this area of the game, just because we can use it to innocuously take care of a few of these scientists who will give the game away with our disguise. So just be careful, just because there is a scientist in here, and I just want to make sure he's going over there. Still work on the guards as well. Make sure you open this locker here. There's also a handkerchief. Now the handkerchief is really good just because if you use it in CQC, you can use it to put an enemy to sleep. Yeah, we'll put them both in these lockers quickly. That was close. Right, now there are a lot of scientists in this next area. Now this is probably the most dangerous part of the entire... this room is probably the most dangerous room in the entire lab, just because there's lots of scientists in here. and we've got to sneak past them in order to get to Granins, so just make sure they're facing the opposite way when you choose to knock them out. Oh, there's a battery there. Remember to pick that up. Right, so when his back is turned, good way to knock him out. Oh, careful. Don't want him looking at us. Take him out. As I said, just make sure they don't get a good look at your face. Suppressor there for the M16. Oh, oh, oh.
Hey!
If you do bump into a guard, just act natural. Don't move. If you run away, they'll raise the alarm. Just act natural.
Get back to work.
Yes, sir. And then you'll get a cutscene now where Granin is. And after Granin's given us the key, we've now got to go back all the way we came, back through the trap-infested forest, back through the warehouse. We've got to, in order to reach the jungle. So we've got to make our way out of the lab now. Now, once again, this room here is the most dangerous part. In fact, we'll save here. Just because it's been a while since I've done it.
Do you want to save?
As mentioned, you want to make sure you save less than 25 times for your entire playthrough.
Snake, do you know
So you definitely want to space out your saves as much as you can. Let's have a look at our records and titles. So 5 saves we've got at the moment. Total damage taken 0. Damage in terms of life bars, no serious injuries, no humans killed, no alerts, no continues. So we're pretty optimal at the minute in terms of the playthrough. Although our play time is 2 hours and 5 minutes, so we've got to beat the game in under 5 hours. So we're going to have to step up our... We're going to have to go a bit faster here. Now, if the scientist does want to have a look at your face, just turn your back.
Someone's in here.
And then he'll walk away. But if he gets a good look at your face, he will raise the alarm. So just make sure you don't let him do so. And that's all the scientists, I think. There's one out here as well. Right, and we won't knock out any more enemies. Let's just get out of here now. You definitely want to save the cigarette spray, just because it's quite useful in other areas later as well, so try not to get a bit too trigger happy with it. Try and save it for later, because ammo with it is very, very rare. Which makes sense, being such a being an espionage item. I imagine there's not much ammo for it lying around, is there? So when you think about it. Right, so we'll go back out the way we came. Let's see if we can get another spatza mushroom from that tree. Just because they are really useful. They're useful for when we can use food against the enemy. And they're useful for when we can... we need to restore stamina ourselves.
Huh?
Oh. Right, we've got to be careful of this soldier here. Oh, careful, mate.
Huh? Hey! Ah!
Very nice, is it? God, someone woke up the wrong side of bed today, I think. Right, so we'll wait for this soldier to disappear. Right, let's grab one of these Spartan mushrooms.
Sick.
We're safe to put our take our camouflage, well, our scientist uniform off now. We need to go. We need to go exactly back the way we came. I would use the tranquilizer gun, but we're gonna need that against the fear. So I'm definitely saving my ammo. He's gonna see us, I think. Can't get it any higher.
What's wrong?
I was close. I didn't realise he was going to walk directly on top of us then. Let's notice the time. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit here because we're going to beat the game in under 5 hours. So I'm noticing I'm spending a bit more time than probably what I should beating a few of these areas. But anyway, we're past the lab now. Now we're ready for the second member of the Cobra unit, which is the Fear. Now, in my opinion, the Fear on Extreme is probably the easiest fight in the entire game, providing that you know the trick to beating him really easily. What you want to do is you want to equip the poison dart frogs or any other food that you know is poisonous. Put them into your inventory. Rotten food is also a good one as well, but you want to put them into your inventory. Also, you want to make sure you've got the thermal goggles, because the fear will use stealth camouflage against you. He's completely invisible. If you use the thermal goggles, it will completely invalidate his stealth camouflage and you'll be able to see him clear as day. So you want to get the Flectarn camo on, just to ensure we've got the battery power needed to see him at all times. Now, as soon as we get into the battle, we will need to be ready to cure ourselves, because he will injure us at the start. I think that's about. Yeah, we'll put some more rotten food on as well. But this is really all you need, just the Mark 22 and just some rotten food and the thermal goggles. That's really all you need. He's actually quite easy to take out with a stamina kill, just because he does use up a lot of stamina when he fights. So as soon as the battle starts, you need to deal with the fact that he's poisoned you. So give yourself some serum just to get rid of the poison. And then for the bolt, use the knife, use some disinfectant, and then use some styptic. And then you should be ready to fight. So first thing we want to do is equip the thermal goggles. We are going to be fighting in the trap-laden forest, so a good reason to use the thermal goggles is that we can see all the traps that the fear has laid out for us as well. The first thing you want to do is all the food that you've got in your inventory that's poisonous and rotten, just throw it out onto the ground. Just put it all out onto the ground. And you'll see why when we get to the halfway point of the fight, when half his stamina is drained. Damn it, he tagged me. Let's find cover here. Got no cover. There he is over there, I can see him now. Well, Snake should be dead. If he's got an arrow in the head, he should be dead. Suspend our disbelief, we'll carry on. Right. As you can see, with the thermal goggles on, he's very easy to track. Oh, what are you going to do? By leaving all your rotten food out, when you get to the halfway point of the fight, when half of his stamina has been drained, he will want to hunt for food, so... But as you can see, the MK22 is very effective against him when compared to the Pain. So it won't require many shots just to knock him into a... Right now, as you notice, the music started to die down a little bit now, and the reason why is because he's hunting for food. So hopefully he'll go and find some of the food that we've dropped on the floor. And if he picks it up, he'll eat it, and because it's rotten, it will cause him to be sick, and it will deplete his stamina even further. I've never seen him do that before. And then what he's going to do now is go and get another piece of food to lay it on the ground. Hopefully we'll pick up something poisonous or rotten. Where's he gone? But as you can see, that's depleted his stamina even further. Right, one more shot should do the trick. Only got 3 shots left, so Definitely want to make sure I get a pure shot here. There we go. And you can see, just with some rotten food and the thermal goggles, just how simple that fight was. Although we did get tagged a couple of times, but that was to do with my incompetence, really. But we made it through. And then if you do manage to defeat the fear and get a stamina kill, he will drop a very powerful piece of camo uniform. This gives the wearer stealth capability at the cost of stamina, so it will maintain 80 camo at all times, no matter where you are, no matter how fast you're moving, no matter what your state of environment is. It will always maintain 80 camo. Obviously, the drawback to this is it will rapidly deplete your stamina gauge, so you need to make sure that you've got some food equipped just to combat against this. But if you use it in small bursts where you need a bit extra camo, it's really, really effective. And a really good place to use it is actually in the next area where we need to get back through the warehouse. Right, let's get the DPM camo equipped, just because we did take a little bit of damage in our in that fight, so it will actually restore our recovery rate for life a little bit faster. I think it's double, I think, if memory serves.
Hey, this works.
If you want to ensure that Snake recovers his wounds naturally, make sure your stamina gauge is as high as possible, and then you'll find that your life recovers a lot faster. Particularly when you lay down as well and you're still, Snake's health will restore a lot faster. But anyway, I think that's a good opportunity to save again, so we'll do
You
that.
want to save? Snake, have you heard of it?
Right, so this is a really good spot, a really, really good spot to use the spider camo. And you'll see why very shortly. Right, so now the enemy's starving because they've got no food. They've got no food from before, so we blew up their stores. So what we can actually do here is throw some of our some of our bad food down here. Just getting through this area just makes it a little bit easier.
What was that? I found some food. Something there. My stomach hurts. I must be seeing things.
And now he's got a stomachache, so he's pretty much... If you punch him once now, he pretty much will fall to the ground, so... There's another soldier down there. See if we can use the other one on him. But you can see just how rapidly Snake's stamina will decrease if you're not careful, so...
Delicious.
What was that? Huh? What was that?
Right, so let's get this off now, and let's go back to Splitter. I think there's another enemy in here somewhere.
Huh? I found some food.
That's the soldier we need to worry about down there, because he's... So when they're suffering from food poisoning, they won't patrol and they'll stay in a fixed position. So it's really, really easy to get around them now. Now that they'll stand still. I really need to take out that other guard, really.
I'm so hungry.
As you can see, it doesn't take much to knock them out now. Only got one shot, really, to deal with this guy.
The enemy's here?
I gotta hurry up here.
Just my imagination.
Gotta hurry up here. There is a suppressor back there, but we can get by with not getting it. Especially when we're going to risk getting spotted. So we'll just carry on. And then we've made it to Sreviatu Gorni. And then that is as far as we're going to take it for this part of the playthrough. So we've defeated the pain and we've defeated the fear. Now we've got to go and deal with one of my favourite fights in the entire game, which is the end. But thank you all very, very much for watching, and I hope at the very least that you found this guide useful. So until next time, take care, and bye for now.